Hi everyone, this is Anastasia Papanikolaou with One Cosmic Heart. Um, I am posting this to my personal page because there's a lot of folks out there that I think might enjoy this, but I will share it to my business page, which is One Cosmic Heart. So it's a nice, cool and brisk I was going to say fall. It's definitely not fall, winter. So it is February 29th, so leap day. So anyway, happy leap year to all of you out there. What I wanted to do this morning is take a little time and share a little bit of one of the modalities that I work with that I absolutely love, and it's called SuperConnection. There is a ton of information on my website, so you can get more information. There are some videos, so you can actually see me working with someone and what a session might entail. And I wanted to talk about some of the benefits that you might receive. It Every session is really different, even when working with one person for multiple sessions. What comes up is very, very different in each session. So it's not like a formula. It's not something that's you can say, well, this happened last time, so I'd like that to happen again. Um, and when I work with obviously different people, just all sorts of things come up. So as far as me saying, pinpointing one thing, it's not going to just work one thing. It's definitely um, working with multiple issues. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you. So I will share a little bit about my experience. I'm going to share an experience that I had working with a client, and then I'm actually going to read at the end a powerful testimonial, I think, pretty powerful testimonial in working with a woman last fall. So I'm trying to sum up the benefits for you or what you might feel when you have a super connection session. And it's similar to just in a really basic way, going to get a massage, going for an acupuncture or a chiropractic session, or any type of body or energy work. Why do people go? Because they're hurting, sometimes physically, sometimes emotionally, or they're just feeling stuck in their lives. Rarely do people go if they're feeling fantastic, right? So if you're feeling stuck, or if your body's feeling heavy, or I hate to use the word pain, pain or discomfort. That's why people go to a bodywork session. So to be a little more specific, I definitely some of the charts in the work that I do target the body. So we'll look at different systems in the body, different organs. It really runs the gamut. So I use a pendulum, and I will do another Facebook Live to actually explain what a pendulum is and what dowsing is, because that's how work is. It's using charts, and within those charts, there are questions. And so I dowse to see which question to ask, and then I dowse for the answer to get people information as to why they might be stuck or why they might be experiencing something. It can also really tackle things like, why do I keep attracting the same partner over and over again? Why, job after job, am I experiencing the same either stumbling blocks or relationship kind of issues with people at work? So, or patterns, right? Like sometimes we just keep repeating the same patterns. And if we're lucky enough to recognize that, like saying, I'm in this relationship and this is happening again, really? Or some people, it could be like on their second or third marriage, and again, I'm doing the same thing with this person, or the other person is showing up with the same issue and we're just butting heads all the time. So it's looking at patterns like that, and super connection is a really great way to be able to pinpoint what's going on and then to shake it loose and help to heal and release it. Um, I know for some of you this might be a little woo-woo, but some of these patterns that are with us do get lodged in early childhood. So that's not so woo-woo, but a lot of them do come in through past lives, other lifetimes. And that's why it's so strong. That's why the pain is so strong when we're encountering these things. It's like, oh my God, I feel like I've done this a million times. And you probably have if it's feeling that strong. And what I love about super connection, or really any type of energy work, is that your soul is saying, yep, I've been here before, and you know what? I'm ready to release this. I don't want to feel this way anymore, and I want a tool to help me like shake this loose. So um, that's talking about the pattern. So again, it can work on physical pain and discomfort, shaking things up in the body, really not just shaking them up, but loosening them up and releasing them. It can work on, like I said, organ systems, the chakra system, meridians. So acupuncturists work with meridian lines all the time in their work. So they're really working to unblock energy, increase flow and chi and prana in the body. And again, I love this work because I didn't have to go to acupuncture school for 4 years. I think that that is a beautiful modality, and it's just not something that my brain could really handle. All that, the science, the A and P, it's very technical. It's very beautiful, but I, with my pendulum and these charts, can sort of get to the same information. And with some people, the releases are really, really profound. Let's see what else. Emotional things. It can really work to loosen up emotional pain that people are holding on to. So I'm being general. So let me share a story about a client that I worked with. This was, I want to say, at least a year ago, maybe a little longer. And I did a short session with this person. It was about a half an hour. I offer hour and half hour. So I did a half an hour with this person. We focused heavily on what came up is when I was dowsing was the body chart. So looking at all the systems in the body and where all the blockages were. So where they were physical blockages, some of them were emotional blockages. And so I did a half hour and I mean, as I was going around the charts, and like I said, it's pretty extensive, we hit pretty much every system, and within every system, multiple specific parts of it. Um, I happened to see this person about, I want to say a week and a half later, and it's a young man, and he said, "Can I share something with you?" And I said, of course you can." He said, "You know, after this, I felt like 50 to 60 better and lighter in my body. Something really changed." So he didn't go into more specifics, but if you can imagine feeling, if you like say tweaked your knee or your ankle hurts or lower back, I think a lot of us, as we get older, you know, neck and shoulders are stiff and tight and lower back. So if you can imagine dealing with a back issue, let's say, and you sit down with somebody for a half an hour and they're basically using a pendulum, working with charts, and you're just sitting there, you're not actually physically doing anything but listening to information, and you feel 50 to 60% better. I think that's pretty significant and pretty profound. And I've seen this over and over again with people. It's not just a one-time thing. So I was really thrilled for him, obviously. And the um, the shifts are permanent, right? So if we re-injure part of our body, then we might feel that injury again. But you know what he felt, I know, stayed with him for quite a while. He had also mentioned, and he didn't go into specifics, but just a family dynamic that he had been dealing with since childhood. So something, when I say family dynamic, something with mom and dad interacting with him and his siblings in a particular way that wasn't really healthy. And he said after the session, I guess, and this does happen for sure, people get insights, awarenesses sometimes when they're sleeping, and during their sleep will get um, clarity and healing, and spirit comes in and says, you know, here's some more information regarding the session you just had. So he basically said there's a family dynamic, and he didn't want to go into it, which is perfectly fine. I don't need to know details, guys. When I do this work, I don't ask people, why are you here? What do you want to work on? What can I help you with? So I'm just diverging a little bit here. And I tell all the people I work with, it's not that I don't care why you came. It's not that I don't care what the issue is that brings you here. It's just when I work with the pendulum, the information is so clear, and pretty much everyone I work with says, "Oh, yeah, you hit it right on the spot." And they haven't told me what's been going on. They're like, "Yep, that's what I came here for," or "That is something I've been working with or dealing with." and you really, it was just your information is spot on. And it's not my information, it's a tool that I use to get to the information for people. So, yeah, so he basically, I'm trying to get back to my train of thought. He basically said that this dynamic that he and his siblings had been dealing with, he got some clarity about it, and he was like, oh, that's what was going on. That's why mom and dad were interacting with us in this particular way. That's why I kept reacting in this particular way. Not healthy, none of it seemed to be healthy, but there was a level of healing and awareness for him that made him feel like, oh yeah, I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't making it up, how they were interacting with us or treating us or speaking to us. I was not making all of that up. And it affected him in so many different ways, right? But when you say, oh yeah, okay, that's my mom and dad's stuff, that's not my stuff. But it definitely impacts the children. So he was able to have, like again, I said, awareness, healing, clarity, and people can take that as far as they want to go, forgiveness, whether or not you actually speak to these folks. I mean, sometimes, loved ones have passed away, so you can't have a conversation, but to have that healing and to say, yeah, this really hurt me, but you know what? I know that you were doing the best that you could, and I'm an adult now, and I can sort of take care of myself. I can wounds. So for me, that was to do a half-hour session, and I do half-hour and hour sessions. It was just really satisfying to get that feedback from him, and I was just thrilled for him. So let me share a little bit about um, what I experienced as I was learning this. So I went to England 2 years ago. It was May of 2017. So I guess we're coming up on 2.5 years ago. And I was obviously excited to be there. And a couple of the issues that I was dealing with at the time and still am to a lesser degree is my energy being low, so fatigue. And then also, my body does not do well with sugar. When I eat sugar, my body just, it doesn't do well. And of course, I love sugar. I mean, a lot of us like sweets. Um, but my body reacts in not nice ways. It's trying to get my attention, like, you got to get off this stuff. It's just like poison in your body. So, I was lucky enough to, I was staying like really feet away from where we were training. And I was lucky enough to have gone to a supermarket with some friends to pick up food for the next 4 days while I was training. So I ate really well at breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I got things that were appropriate for me. But during the training, what we had was tea and beverages and snacks. So they weren't bad. They were like a granola mix, nuts and cranberries and raisins. And the nuts are fine for me. The cranberries and raisins, not so much. Hi, Uncle John. Nice to see you. So I would pick out the cranberries and raisins, obviously, because fruit has natural sugar, and I needed to stay away from that. But when you dry a fruit, then the sugar content just gets stronger. So I was picking that out. So I was good with the nuts. I was like proud of myself for the nuts, but I could not resist the English cookies and the English biscuits that my lovely teacher had in the kitchen. So yeah, I definitely had some of those, and I shouldn't have had them, but my point here is we were learning this dowsing modality. I was dowsing and clearing for myself for 4 days, and the more I did, the less I felt study. Um, should I have been eating it? Nope, absolutely not. And I still struggle with that, so I'm still working on that, guys. But as I was dowsing and clearing, my body was feeling better and lighter, and my stomach wasn't hurting as much. So that was one thing for me that, um, is may seem like a little thing, but when people are dealing with body stuff, it's not so little. We're walking around, this is our home, our body's our home. So, like a turtle, we're carrying our shell around with us, and we've got to treat it right. But if you can get some relief while you're in the body, then I'm all for it. So that was one thing. I'm sure there were tons of other releases that I experienced during that 4 day course. But for me, the and the fatigue too. I gotta say that in dowsing, I wasn't tired. It was like an 8-hour day, which is a normal training day. Was not tired. I wasn't tired at the end when some people went home, some of us stayed, so I'll call it on campus, because we had traveled to get there. So there was on-site lodging, and I wasn't tired. I could stay up till 9 or 10 easily and then be refreshed in the morning, which was wonderful and definitely what I needed to get myself like through the training. So the dowsing and super connection helped. The other thing I can say that was notable for me is on my ride home. So I'm sitting in the airport. I checked in and I'm just sort of waiting to board. I don't know, I might have been waiting half hour, 40 minutes. I don't remember exactly. And I started feeling, I don't know if it was exactly nausea, but funny stuff in my head. So maybe a slight headache was coming on. My stomach felt a little queasy, funny. So yeah, probably nervous flying, which I'm always a little nervous at the beginning, but once I'm on the plane and we've taken off, then the nerves settle. So it was probably that. So my head felt a little funny and my stomach, I was like, ugh, you know, didn't feel good. So pulled out my book. I'm just sitting there. We're all sitting, people are sitting there waiting to board. Pulled out my book, started dowsing for myself. And within 10 minutes, I felt so much better. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. Thanks you guys for joining. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop it in the box. If I can get to it today, I'd be more than happy to. And if I can't, I will be doing these regularly. So I will definitely save your questions and you can come back and check out the lives. But if anyone wants to jot something in, I would love to answer it for you. Um, so so after 10 minutes of dowsing while I was waiting to board, I felt better. I was like, hi Kim. I was I was good. I was good to go. It was, I don't want to say it is amazing, but having, trained for 4 days, I know what this work can do. And I was so happy to be able to work on myself. So let's see. I think just to keep this a little bit on the shorter end, I am going to read. I've got a testimonial that I really just, I'll be looking away from the camera because I want to read it. What I will tell you about it is I go to a women's retreat every September in New Hampshire on Lake Winnipesaukee. It is an amazing place. The land is amazing. It's a YMCA camp for boys during the summer, so it's full of little boy energy or young adult boy energy. And in September after Labor Day, so if anyone's interested, I can get them information if you want to come and participate. It's like a 3.5 day retreat for women where if you just want to sit on the beach and do nothing, you can do that. You can enjoy the water. There are tons of workshops that are offered, so crafting workshops, all sorts of things. I'm kind of doing a plug for this, and I didn't mean to, but anyway, I've been going for over 10 years. I've been offering my different services, ear coning mostly, and a little bit of Reiki, aromatherapy, and when I learned SuperConnection, I brought my SuperConnection skills to the retreat. So I've been offering those for 2 years now, and it was last September, so September of 2019. A woman that, yep, I won't say her last name, but it's Kate. Her name is Kate, and I've worked with her before, doing other things. I've worked with her doing custom aromatherapy. So she saw that I had this listed as an offering, and she's like, you know what? What the heck? I know Anastasia. I like her. I trust her. That kind of a thing. We've built a rapport over the years. She's been going for quite a while as well, and she was curious about the description and just wanted to try it, and that's lovely. So it's great when people come with an issue. It's also great when people just are like, I'm really curious. I want to, and I think that's how she came to the session, which is great. So we worked for an hour. There was a lot of stuff that came up for her, and I will read the testimonial in just a minute. What I do want to say is I saw her the next day. So I must have worked on her on a Friday, and I think I saw her on a Saturday. She was packing up her car. The retreat doesn't end till Sunday, but people come and go as their schedule permits. So she had to go. Something had come up for her. She had to leave. And I said, hey, I'm just wondering, have you noticed anything? Do you feel any different? And she said, I think she said that she did, but she wasn't specific. I think she said she did notice some stuff. I'm trying to remember our conversation. And oh, that's our landline. Sorry, guys. So, sorry, just give me a second. Um, I asked her, she did say that stuff had shifted. So I said, you know, if would you mind writing a testimonial for me? And only if you want. And she said, yeah, I don't mind. Let me think on it a couple days and I'll send you something. Um, so it's something, I knew that she was going to work on something for me. Um, what she did say to me in person, which I thought was kind of funny. She's like, because she did say something happened and she said, I thought this was bullshit. Like I pretty much just I thought this was all bullshit, but she felt a shift. So I'm going to read you the testimonial because it goes from coming being curious about a session to it's total, you know, for lack of a better word, it's total crap. What you just did like was total crap or bullshit. And then here's what she wrote, and this is on my website, so you guys can check it out. She said, I had been feeling a little heavy hearted and disconnected, and not sure why. I went away for an annual wellness retreat and had the opportunity to consult with Anastasia for a SuperConnection session. Honestly, I was more than skeptical that it would have any value for me. It was an extremely interesting session, and as always, it was a delight to spend some time with the charismatic and intuitive Anastasia. I went away from the session thinking the only benefit I got was food for thought. The reason I felt compelled to write this is because I am in awe of the benefit of this one session for me. The results were so totally unexpected that I am still amazed. I feel lighter, more confident, healthier, and more in control of my emotions and feelings. Someone that I see often just commented that she thought I looked younger and was wondering if I had a new exercise regime or something else. I don't, but I had to share with her that I feel this super connection session with Anastasia was life changing for me. I was also in awe of the fact that after I had the session with Anastasia, I also had the opportunity to consult with a noted astrologer, and she was at the retreat, who surprisingly enough said some of the exact same words and focused on the exact same people that Anastasia had brought up. Just a coincidence? I don't think so. I would highly recommend this amazing practitioner and that everyone should have at least one super connection session with her. You can thank me later. And she lists her name as Kate M. So I'm super grateful for that testimonial, but more importantly, super grateful that she had that experience. So again, to kind of go back to the beginning, I mean, what can people expect? So different for everyone. I never guarantee, I never say this is how you're going to feel, but most people walk away feeling lighter in their body, feeling lighter in their minds, having a sense of lightness in their emotion, whether that's in their heart or they had come with some sort of heaviness, sorrow, grief, confusion, and it dissipates. Um, what else? Sometimes, like a pattern, like I had mentioned earlier at the beginning of this live, a pattern totally breaks apart and you're not attracting that same energy. Um, so, I think I've hit all the major things, but it's so varied. Like sometimes people are sitting in front of me and they start tearing up a little bit. Or they just look at me like, how did you know to say that word? Or how did you know to say that phrase? And when they're sitting across from me, they're seeing that the pendulum is moving over different words and the pendulum says yes or no. So when it says a yes, I say that phrase or that word. So it's not like I'm reading their minds, but the universe is sort of, I call it conspiring for our best and highest good for healing. So when the pendulum says yes, say this is what's blocked in this person's energy field or in their body or in their heart, or they've brought it through for all these lifetimes and this wants healing and wants to be released. So I've gotten things like people just sort of looking at me like with wide eyes like, wow, Yeah, I can't believe you said that, or tearing up, or I have people have physical releases in their body. So things are opening up and letting go. Um, and yeah, I mean, again, can I equate it exactly to acupuncture? It's not the same modality, right? You're not sitting there with needles um, in you, but you're sitting with me, you're listening, you're having an experience of an energy shift, a vibrational shift that is permanent. And I can't say enough about this work. I love this work. I love working with people. I love helping people. I am right now the only person in the US, but also North America doing this work. So I'm going to be taking time, I'm hoping once a week to do lives so that I can share and educate what it is and just get the word out there. So you'll be hearing me explain a lot of things because people might be like, I've never heard of it, I don't know what it is. So it's my pleasure to share it with people and to share stories. I feel like I'm a storyteller of sorts, so I may not be very like scientific, but I'm going to share a lot of stories and testimonials of things that have helped people. So if you like stories and hearing about stuff like that, great. I never use people's full names or I change names and so I'm never going to reveal anything really that's going to identify who I work with. But for me, the testimonials and the stories are super powerful, and I think that gives people a glimpse into this work. I went to England to train, so there are practitioners not only in the UK but in many parts of Europe. There is another wonderful teacher in China. So she's training people on that side of the planet. And more people are learning this. So it is getting out there. You may hear about it from someone, but I am really going to do my best to educate people here in the States. And obviously, Facebook is everywhere. So that you'll see me talking about my other modalities as well, but I am going to focus on SuperConnection. There is more information on my website, which is onecosmicheart.net. You can read more about it. You can schedule a session. What I love about this work also is I'm happy to work with people in person. I am in the Metro West area in Massachusetts, so that might not be for everyone. So if that is the case for you, and I understand I don't always want to travel, I do this over phone and Skype. It is just as effective, guys, when I do it. Just because you're not sitting in front of me doesn't mean it's less impactful for you. And I've done as many sessions as I've done over Skype, I've done over the phone. So you don't even see me doing the work. You can, that's great. I love doing that so I can see people's reactions and expressions when I'm reading certain words. But if you don't have access to Skype, phone is perfect. Okay. I will share one more story. This is one of my favorites. It's not even my testimonial to share, but I did get permission from my teacher, and this is on my website. I know I've shared it before, but it's worth mentioning again. So my teacher was working with a client, um, a grandmother. I think they were doing work together, and the grandmother approached my teacher, Linda Turner, and said, there's a situation going on at home. So I don't, it was about her granddaughter, and I don't know if the granddaughter was living with the grandparents or maybe just living with her parents. In any event, um, this little girl was sort of being a terror in the house. And you can read the testimonial, but my teacher did a session, got back to the grandmother, said basically, this is what I found. Um, there was a past life where this little girl was a general in an army or some higher up military person, so she was in command of a lot of folks and needed to have that militant style of command in order for, obviously respect and to command orders and all that stuff. So she had brought that energy into this lifetime, and she was literally bossing people around, making people's lives miserable, as you would like a little commander, maybe dictator. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. Linda also found that there are military people in her family currently. So I forget if it was a grandfather, a father, an uncle, not quite sure, but there were people in the family that are were had also served or were currently serving. And that really doesn't matter so much, but just that, sometimes there are military families, right? Like you grow up in a military family, there are generations of it. So you're also getting that energy through the direct DNA, for lack of a better word, because if your grandfather was in the military, then your mom or dad was in the military, now you are. So you just grow up in this family of that energy. So she had that, but I think maybe more importantly, in my estimation, that this was a past life. And Linda did the session, did the clearing around that, got back to the grandmother, touched base with her. Who knows? I don't know, a week, 2 weeks later, and the grandmother said the energy is completely shifted in the house. This little girl is completely different. She's not bossing people around. She's not being this holy terror in the house. She's much softer and kinder. And it was that past life that needed to um, be released, in the sense of, not like it was bad. She was a general or a commander in that other life, and now she wasn't. Now she was an 8 or 10-year-old little girl, and she didn't need to be holding that energy and putting that energy out. So basically needing to complete that life and be like, yes, this is what I did. This is who I was. This is how I served. This is how I lived that life. Fantastic. Kind of put a period on it. Move on to the next life. Not taking of that other stuff with you. And just the fact that her, I guess, personality pretty much changed, and the whole dynamic in the house, very powerful. So again, this is something of what you might expect a super connection session can do for you. This speaks to the energy of patterns, kind of clearing. Um, I don't want to call them negative, but just stuck patterns, or patterns that aren't serving people. So I think that I'll just quickly, I'm going to end. I'm going to say again, if you want more information, please visit my website, onecosmicheart.net, for more info or to see my availability to book a session. Again, remember, if you're not local to me, we can work over the phone or Skype. I offer half-hour sessions and hour sessions. And on Facebook, my page is One Cosmic Heart. I'm also on Instagram with the same handle, One Cosmic Heart. Thanks so much for all of you that tuned in this morning. Really appreciate your time. Thanks also to all the folks that are going to watch the live after the fact. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. We are moving into March, so spring is coming. Yeah, I just wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful day, and thanks so much for being a part of my world and letting me share something that I'm really passionate about. Okay, take care. Until next time.